Welcome to Those Were the Days. Queasy here, licensed to thrill and ready to talk about MI6's favorite secret agent, James Bond 007. Now, I've been a Bond fan for as long as I can remember. I used to trade theories with friends about which Bond actor was the best, and I even recall hearing A View to a Kill by Duran Duran on the radio and thinking, this slaps harder than Bond's tuxedo, and let's be honest, it still does. So here it is, my 007 Dossier. This is my personal ode to one of cinema's greatest franchises, filled with suave agents, iconic theme songs, and explosions that defy logic and gravity. Bond is one of my top franchises for a reason, and what better way to kick things off than by ranking all 25 official films. Ranking Bond films is very subjective, and these are my ideas. So grab your martini, shaken not stirred, settle in, and enjoy the ride. This is the 007 Dossier. Let's roll.
Dishonorable Mentions, Never Say Never Again in Casino Royale 1967.
Before we dive into the good stuff, let me get this off my chest. I can find something to like in every Bond film, even the ones that feel more like a tuxedo-themed fever dream than spy cinema. These two, though, they're the oddballs at the cocktail party. Technically, they exist. Officially, not so much. They're the rebellious cousins of the Bond universe, showing up uninvited, borrowing ideas from Thunderball, or spoofing the franchise with jokes that land about as well as a parachute in a phone booth. If I were ranking every 007 appearance ever made, these two would politely occupy spots 26 and 27, in the back row, behind the velvet rope. They skip the iconic Bond formula we all crave. No thrilling pre-title sequence, no pulse-pounding intro that grabs you by the martini glass. Never Say Never Again is Thunderball's shadow clone with less polish. And Casino Royale 67 is what happens when a Bond film takes a hard left into surreal comedy and then stalls in traffic. Now, don't get me wrong, they're worth checking out if you're curious or just want to complete your spy cinema checklist. They're like rare collectibles, weird, fascinating, and slightly dusty. But if you're new to Bond or just dipping your toes in the Aston Martin waters, start with the official canon. Trust me, there's enough shaken not stirred goodness in the main 25 to keep you busy. Now, let's get to the real Bond business.
Spectre.
Starts with a bang, ends with a bewildered shrug. We had the whole Skyfall dream team back. Same director, same composer, even the same lighting guy. And somehow we ended up with a plot that felt like it had a few martinis too many. Craig was pure Bond in the opener, gun barrel finally in the right spot, and Rome's car chase, pure genius. But when the villain backstory derails faster than Bond's train, the runtime stretches like a bad breakup, and the logic escapes faster than 007 himself. Sam Smith may have won an Oscar, but that song that he sang sounds like it's trying way too hard to be deep while forgetting the tune. And by the time Bond escapes the villain's lair with plot armor thicker than his tux, I was already mentally ejecting from this mission.
The Man with the Golden Gun.
Ah yes, the one where Bond's charisma took a vacation. Roger Moore is usually charming, but here he's serving cold shoulder like it's shaken, not stirred. The villain's cool, the landscapes are lush, but the Solex agitator is basically a paperweight with an evil name. Lulu's theme song, more like the woman with the shrillest notes. I mean, every time it plays, my ears just want diplomatic immunity. The closet scene, creepy. The ending line, cringe. It's like they wrote this movie for Sean Connery and then accidentally gave Roger Moore the script. Not a golden moment for Bond, despite Christopher Lee's best efforts as Scaramanga.
Quantum of Solace.
This one felt like a 2-hour caffeine crash. No gun barrel, no melody in the theme, no coherence. Craig acts his heart out, but the movie zips into jump cut territory so fast you'd think the editor was chasing a deadline with no sleep. The villain is forgettable, Agent Strawberry Fields adds next to nothing, and the revenge plot sounds great on paper but plays out like Bond's unfinished homework. You blink, and the whole movie's over. It's the shortest Bond film, and it's not because it's sleek. It's because it feels like someone hit the submit button before it was ready. Not good, Mr. Bond, not good indeed.
Dr. No.
Respect where it's due, this film launched an empire. But over 60 years later, it's got some wrinkles. From questionable racial portrayals to awkward night scenes and clunky editing, it feels very much like Bond, the prototype. Sean Connery's great, Jack Lord is effortlessly cool, and the villain's lair is iconic. But the overused theme music and the fetch my shoes moment, yikes. It's a movie that I like, but only when the mood strikes and I'm ready to overlook its age. And even though it's the very first Bond film, it's one I would introduce to a James Bond newbie much later.
Die Another Day.
Oh, Brosnan, you gave it your all, but this movie gave us face-swapping villains, surfing scenes best left on the cutting room floor, and an invisible car? No, really, invisible car. The first half of the film is surprisingly solid, though. Madonna's theme, painful but manageable. Then the plot hits Cuba and things unravel like a bad Q gadget in water. This one is bonkers, but watchable, if you shut off your logic circuits and just enjoy the Bond cosplay. I mean, it was the 40th anniversary after all. They aimed for spectacle, and boy, did they overachieve.
No Time to Die.
Daniel Craig's back, baby! And he's not just brooding, he's brooding with conviction. The opening of the film is slick. The Norway forest gunfight is chef's kiss, and for once, the Bond-Madeline romance actually feels real. But after the Cuba sequence, let's just say the plot takes a horrible detour. Rami Malek is menacing but underused, and a constant use of that particular legacy song from On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Yeah, not my favorite moment. Billie Eilish brings the sads, but where's the swagger? Where's the punch? Give me some Duran Duran Disco Danger, baby, yeah! And that ending, oh man. Bond's farewell shouldn't feel like a tragic indie drama. Respect to Daniel Craig's swan song, but let's hope the next reboot brings back the fun, and maybe with flared trousers and Cold War gadgets.
You Only Live Twice.
Filmed in Japan, filled with charm and dialogue choices that make you audibly gasp. The scenery, stunning. Barry's score, peak elegance. Tiger Tanaka, a delight. Donald Pleasance, wickedly entertaining. But Sean Connery, looks like he'd rather be anywhere else, and preferably not getting a questionable makeover to blend in. Plot-wise, it's a sushi platter of odd decisions, from ninjas and volcanoes to lines that wouldn't even pass a casual tweet check today. Bonus points for nostalgia and the classic theme song, but this one's best enjoyed with your disbelief fully suspended and your cringe radar powered way down.
The World Is Not Enough.
Cable TV fatigue is real, and this movie got looped harder than a Q-Lab training montage. Pierce Brosnan's in peak form here. Suave, brutal, and always ready with a smirk. The garbage theme song isn't garbage, pun intended, but actually my old roommate's repeat button obsession earned it some points off for me. Desmond Llewellyn's final bow as Q is touching, and Denise Richards as a nuclear physicist, not convincing, but at least it's fun. Renard's quirk is no odd job tier gimmick, but things drag a bit in the middle of the film despite a solid score and a thrilling pre-title intro. You won't regret watching it.
Diamonds Are Forever.
Hey now, this movie is pure camp, and proud of it. Sean Connery's paycheck-induced joy is almost contagious, and the dialogue, it's as cheesy as a fondue fountain in Vegas. From moon buggies to sinister spa treatments, it's delightfully ridiculous. Wint and Kid creep it up just enough, and Tiffany Case brings sass with a side of sparkles. And that title track, a certified banger. Shirley Bassey never misses. It's not high art, but it's high fun. Guilty pleasure? Absolutely. And you know what? Bond could use a little glitter now and then.
A View to a Kill.
Roger Moore trades espionage for grandpa energy. The pre-title scene rocks, the music slaps, but Roger Moore sneaking kisses with women 3 decades younger? Yikes! Thankfully, Christopher Walken's Max Zorin and Grace Jones's Mayday bring the fire and weirdness that we all crave. It's the most straightforward 1980s Bond plot, and if you look past Moore's age and the very 1980s everything, it's quite the ride. Not ideal for first-timers, but a gem for fans who like their Bond with a side of synth and shoulder pads.
Live and Let Die.
Roger Moore enters the scene, gentleman first, and totally owns it. The blaxploitation influence, the gritty locations, and Paul McCartney's unforgettable title song make this one a stylish left turn for Bond. George Martin's score, yes, that George Martin, adds serious groove. Yaphet Kotto's villain is simple but solid, and the cast pulls from iconic black cinema in a way that gives this movie real flavor. Jane Seymour's youthful blonde girl is eyebrow-raising, but the chemistry still works. It's bold, brash, and a total vibe shift, and that's precisely why it works.
From Russia with Love.
A Cold War classic with a little too much cold. I like this movie, I really do. It's espionage heavy, stylish, and full of early 1960s charm. But when I reach for Bond, it's usually a Thunderball, or Goldfinger, or something with a little bit more pizzazz. Maybe it's the draggy gypsy camp scene, the quadruple villain takedown in the finale, or the fact that Spectre agents keep dropping like flies. I mean, this one overstays its welcome just a little bit. Red Grant's villain is great, and Kareem Bey deserved his own spin-off, in my opinion. Wonderful music, killer locations, and a solid story, but when the Bond nights roll around, this one is more Cold War in the queue than must-watch right now.
License to Kill.
Timothy Dalton goes rogue and brings the heat. At first, this gritty revenge-fueled Bond felt like a betrayal of the suave formula. But over time, I came around. The stunts are next level, the violence is bold, and Timothy Dalton's icy determination channels Ian Fleming's original Virgin. Michael Kamen's score sets the brooding tone, and while the plot occasionally juggles too many subplots and villains and side characters, the payoff is pure adrenaline. Bond's here not to flirt, he's here to avenge and to take down cartel kingpins with charisma-free aggression. It's messy, intense, and totally earns its spot in the top half of this ranking.
On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
The one-off Bond who made it count. George Lazenby might have only suited up once, but he dove in headfirst, and it shows. The film ditches formula for a heartfelt love story, tense espionage sequences, and a sobering ending that wipes the grin off of your martini. Diana Rigg is stellar as Tracy, Telly Savalas turns Blofeld into a smooth-talking menace, and John Barry's score top tier. Still, it's got dated quirks, snow chases on loop, some questionable editing choices, and one brutal finale that trades the yacht and kiss ending for something more tragic. Bold, beautiful, but not quite binge-worthy without emotional prep.
Skyfall.
Daniel Craig's big return, and wow, it looks so good. Action, slick. Soundtrack, Oscar-winning. Supporting cast, great. But suspension of disbelief, about as shaky as Silva's ethics. Bond surviving a deadly fall like it's Tuesday, Silva playing peekaboo with MI6 security systems, and a plot that sometimes feels more Home Alone than 007. Adele's theme song croons beautifully, but yeah, I'm still craving a punchier anthem. The movie feels big, bold, and brooding, but it doesn't quite hit the villain gold standard. But it's easily one of the franchise's strongest modern efforts, just missing my top 10.
The Living Daylights.
Timothy Dalton drops in with gravitas, parkour, and a whole lot of snow. People called him the second coming of Sean Connery, and honestly, he earned the hype. Originally, this movie was meant for Pierce Brosnan, and this film still fits Dalton like a tailored tux. The story's twisty, the villains are in abundance, and if you lose track of the plot, don't worry. The stunt work and action will carry you through. John Barry's score refreshes Bond's sonic palette, and while Aha's theme isn't a chart topper for me, at least it's not another dramatic croon fest. I don't watch this one constantly, but when it's on, it slaps. Unexpectedly top 10 and totally earned.
Tomorrow Never Dies.
Here's the TV rerun Bond that snuck up in the rankings. Pierce Brosnan is smooth, snarky, and clearly having a blast. Michelle Yeoh steals every scene that she's in, and even Jonathan Pryce's Wi-Fi-enabled megalomania feels delightfully nostalgic. David Arnold's score, his best work, period. Sheryl Crow's theme, surprisingly solid. And yes, this movie is perfect background noise when you clean your apartment. And I know that from experience. But that's kind of its superpower. Turn it on, tune out reality, and let Bond blow things up while quipping his way through media empires and satellite sabotage. Pure popcorn fun.
Goldfinger.
The granddaddy of Bond tropes. Deadly hats, golden ladies, quirky henchmen, and villains with names like board games. It's stylish, snappy, and absolutely iconic. But let's face it, some of it's hilariously implausible. He got killed by a flying hat? Sure. Paint her entirely gold? Alright. Drive headfirst into a mirror? Okay, now you're just messing with me. Still, John Barry's score is untouchable, Honor Blackman brings the sass, and even if I don't vibe with it like my parents' generation does, I respect the legacy. Overrated? Maybe. Groundbreaking? Absolutely.
Thunderball.
Want vintage Bond at maximum budget and bravado? Thunderball delivers. Jetpacks, spas, sharks, underwater ballet battles, it's all here. Emilio Largo's eye patch is peak villain chic. Fiona Volpe outcharms half the franchise, and Domino, well, let's just say she's super easy on the eyes. The underwater fight scene could have used a trim or a fast forward button, and the final boat showdown borders on slapstick. But between the Bahamas setting, Barry's immersive soundtrack, and Vargas silently stalking everyone like it's his job, this movie is pure escapist joy.
Octopussy.
Underrated, underloved, and totally misunderstood. Sure, it's got a name that makes middle schoolers giggle, but beneath the title is a classy, layered espionage tale with Fabergé finesse and Cold War chaos. Roger Moore is comfy in his sixth outing, gliding through auction rooms and train fights like he's ordering tea at Claridge's. General Orloff steals scenes with maximum theatrical gusto, and even Bond's clown suit has purpose. Yeah, it does. The score isn't Barry's boldest, but it matches the film's cozy tension. Stereotypes aside, this one's pure comfort cinema. Quirky, elegant, and unexpectedly satisfying.
Moonraker.
James Bond in space. That alone earns it legend status. But this orbital adventure is more than laser beams and zero gravity. It's the definition of fun. From skydiving with Jaws to gondolas gone wild, Moonraker leans fully into its cartoonish chaos. Michael Lonsdale's Drax delivers silky menace, and Barry's score, galactic elegance. Yes, the science is questionable. Yes, the space station looks suspiciously IKEA, but it works because it knows it's ridiculous and it revels in it. Popcorn required, helmet optional.
For your eyes only.
So while Moonraker crash-landed in a laser-fueled blaze, this film picked up the pieces with spycraft, suspense, and no space shuttle in sight. Roger Moore dials down the charm for a more grounded James Bond, and it fits beautifully. Bill Conti's score brings flair and funk, while Sheena Easton's ballad sets the mood without dragging. The ski chase is iconic, and St. Cyril's sequence is tense perfection. And hey, ignore the awkward Blofeld cameo, and everything else is tight, engaging, and refreshingly back to basics. For your eyes only, and for more replays.
Casino Royale.
This reboot didn't just reboot, it reloaded, reshaped, and redefined. Daniel Craig bursts onto the scene like a fist through a tuxedo, and suddenly, Bond bleeds, broods, and bashes through walls. The parkour chase is legendary. Mads Mikkelsen's Le Chiffre is cold, calculating, and bleeds from the eye because villainy must be stylish. Eva Green's Vesper Lynn matches Bond note for note, elegant, elusive, and unforgettable. David Arnold's score is bold and thunderous, and the song You Know My Name by Chris Cornell, the sonic gut punch that this new era needed. It's visceral, grounded, and emotional in ways that Bond rarely dared to be. This isn't just a movie, it's a statement.
The Spy Who Loved Me.
Roger Moore's masterpiece and one of the most balanced Bond outings ever. You've got underwater Lotus cars, ski jumps with Union Jack parachutes, and Jaws biting through steel like it's celery. Barbara Bach's Anya Amasova isn't just a pretty face, she's Bond's equal, rival, and sometimes better. The villain's plot, classic oceanic megalomania. The set's colossal. The score, sweeping and majestic. And the track, Nobody Does It Better by Carly Simon, No Lies Detected. It's the perfect anthem for a film that nails tone, pacing, humor, and thrills in one glittering package. Roger Moore's finest hour, and one that glides just below the top spot.
GoldenEye.
Fireworks, finesse, and full throttle. GoldenEye is everything Bond needed to survive the 90s and thrive. Pierce Brosnan arrives with coolness in spades, and this film flexes with confidence from minute one. The damn jump alone says, oh yes, Bond is back. Sean Bean's Alec Trevelyan is a complex, compelling villain with a personal twist that works. Famke Janssen's Xenia is deliciously unhinged, and Judi Dench's debut as M is a mic drop moment. The action sings, the set pieces snap, and Eric Serra's score, while divisive, still adds a unique texture. And the song GoldenEye by Tina Turner, absolute gold. Nostalgia, excellence, and adrenaline all rolled into one. The pinnacle of my James Bond experience. And that's a wrap. My rankings of all 25 official James Bond films, from gadgets and gold paint to villains with volcano layers. Did I leave you shaken, not stirred? Let me know in the comments. Agree, disagree, or have a favorite Bond moment I missed? I'd love to hear your thoughts, no matter what side of the MI6 fence you're on. Until next time, keep your martinis cold and your opinions bold.